Coming up on Cronkite News, lawmakers have introduced new bills to ensure election security. We will tell you what steps officials think need to be taken.
Plus, we take a look at why Customs and Border Protection officers are inspecting flowers arriving in Arizona.
And later, we'll talk about yesterday's Southern California Super Bowl and next year's Super Bowl 57 right here in the Valley.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Stona Meadows.
And I'm Colt Almadova. Thank you for joining us. Dozens of election-related bills have been introduced at the legislature this session. Some address issues related to election integrity, others address access to ballots, and many more. One bill in particular addresses misplaced ballots. Cronkite News reporter Ashley Hugeleski reports some Arizona lawmakers say this bill will help ensure every ballot is counted.
Senate Bill 1056 addressed concerns regarding misplaced ballots, including how ballots should be delivered and handled at polling places. Today, at the state capitol, it went through another hurdle. At the Senate Government Committee hearing earlier this year, a number of Republicans spoke in favor of one aspect of the bill, specifically the part that makes it a Class 2 misdemeanor for any election worker to misplace a ballot.
When we, as American citizens, lose our vote because someone says it was an unwitting error and is not held accountable, there are a lot of us who have a problem with that.
Senator Martin Quezada disagrees. He believes that mistakes are made and humans shouldn't be punished for those errors.
I think that it criminalizes people that make honest human error mistakes. And then even worse than that is that it doesn't count that person's vote, even though it's a legitimate ballot that a person cast.
Speaking at the hearing, Jen Marson, the executive director for the Arizona Association of Counties, said she worries that election workers will be unnecessarily punished.
We are opposed respectfully to the bill. We have a couple of questions. There's no intent clause in the bill, so there's no knowingly or intentionally or willfully or something like that associated with the person who does the misplacing. And because, we all work with humans, we want to allow for human error.
A number of Arizona citizens expressed support for the bill, saying every ballot is precious.
A tangible ballot that somebody said is a minor problem when it slides behind the wall and it gets lost. That's a tangible vote, and it is so valuable.
In addition to potentially punishing election workers, the bill also allows voters whose ballots were misplaced to sue the office that administers the elections. Earlier this year, it passed through the Senate Government Committee in a 4-3 vote. Today, it also passed the Committee on Rules. Next step is a hearing in front of the full Senate. In Phoenix, Ashley Hugeleski, Cronkite News.
SB 1056 is just one of many election-related bills that have faith leaders concerned about voting rights in the state. As a result, those leaders are now asking the NFL to pull Super Bowl 57 out of Arizona. A group gathered in Glendale this morning outside of State Farm Stadium to protest recent legislation that suppresses voting rights, especially those of minorities. Faith leaders have started a petition demanding the NFL move the 2023 Super Bowl because of what they see as a history of racism in Arizona voting laws.
Since you moved the Super Bowl 30 years ago over a symbol, and since nearly 70% of your players are black, we're asking you now, because Arizona has passed at least 3 voter suppression bills in the state legislature last year, and Governor Ducey signed all 3 of them.
Our democracy, the right to vote, is under attack here in Arizona. Stand with us as we call on the NFL to move Super Bowl 57.
A statement released by Governor Doug Ducey's office said the benefits, both direct and indirect, for businesses large and small are tremendous. It's an opportunity to put Arizona on full display across the country. It is unfathomable why anyone would want to deny Arizona these benefits and this opportunity.
It's been 4 years since 17 students and 3 faculty members were killed in a shooting at Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. And President Joe Biden is urging lawmakers to tighten gun control laws. Biden's efforts in reducing gun violence has included urging lawmakers to provide funding to reduce violent crimes and to require background checks on all gun sales. Biden released a statement honoring the victims and said his administration stands with those working to end gun violence. He said, quote, "We can never bring back those we've lost, but we can come together to fulfill the first responsibility of our government and our democracy, to keep each other safe." Walmart recently announced that it would be ending its mask mandate for fully vaccinated employees. The company defines fully vaccinated as individuals who have received at least 2 doses of the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine and 1 dose of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Those who work in states where local mask mandates are still in place are still required to wear a mask, as well as unvaccinated employees. Walmart also announced it will be ending its sick leave policy that gave employees extra paid time off beyond sick leave. The policy is ending in March. Daily health screenings will also not be required starting February 28th, except for workers in California, New York, and Virginia.
The FDA issued an emergency use authorization for a new antibody drug targeted at fighting the Omicron variant. The drug is to be used for people ages 12 and older who have a high risk of progression to severe COVID-19, including hospitalization. The new treatment involves lab-made proteins that can mimic the immune system's ability to fight harmful invaders like the coronavirus. The Biden administration purchased 600,000 doses of the treatment and will begin sending it to the state health authorities. Data showed the treatment also works against the emerging subvariant of Omicron. Scientists say the treatment is not a substitution for the COVID-19 vaccine.
Northern Arizona University is launching a new admissions pilot program to broaden access to higher education for Arizona high school students. NAU says that approximately 50,000 Arizona high school students may not have access to all of the 16 required courses that are necessary for admission to NAU. The pilot program seeks to eliminate the second language course requirement for admission to the university to expand college participation statewide. The program will take effect starting with the freshman class in the fall of 2023. Today, on Valentine's Day, U.S. Customs and Border Protections officers inspect items arriving at Arizona ports of entry, primarily flowers. Cronkite News reporter Reina Preciado explains why flowers might represent a danger.
I think each flower is unique and special in its own origin.
Cheryl Denham, owner of Arizona Family Florist in Phoenix, is excited for the appreciation of flowers that surrounds Valentine's Day. Her team prepares roses and bouquets for the high demand.
We get 70% of our flowers in from South America. The other 30% comes domestically out of California.
These flowers have to be carefully examined before entering the United States. Edith Serrano is a CBP programs manager in Tucson. She says officers have been taking their time in checking the flowers.
They try to prevent insects from entering and destroying the crops here in the U.S. because it's very costly to try to treat that stuff.
Denham says keeping insects out is crucial for her business.
That could potentially put all the other flowers that we have currently in-house at risk, because then it could spread into other varieties, and therefore then we would lose all of our inventory.
According to CBP, of the 58 countries that import flowers to the United States, Colombia tops the list at more than 738 million.
CBP agriculture specialists say they've inspected more than 1.1 billion flowers so far this year. Now, local flower shops like Arizona Florists say that the results have proven to be successful so far.
We've never had that happen here for us, thank goodness.
Denham is referring to the delays that could potentially prevent orders from arriving on time due to finding insects in the shipments. She appreciates not having to face such issues.
I think flowers just in general, it's extremely important that they do go through that customs regulation.
In Phoenix, Reina Preciado, Cronkite News.
It is not illegal to import flowers from other countries, but certain flowers and plant materials found in floral arrangements are restricted because they may carry plant pests and diseases that can damage the U.S. agriculture.
Well, happy birthday, Arizona. Today marks 110 years since Arizona became the 48th state in the United States. President William Taft signed the Arizona Statehood Bill in 1912, adding Arizona to the Union. Arizona Governor Doug Ducey issued proclamations making today Arizona Statehood Day. The Grand Canyon State is home to 22 national monuments and parks. The Sonoran Desert is the only place where the saguaro cactus grows and is home to one of the 7 wonders of the world, the Grand Canyon. Arizona is also nicknamed the Copper State as it leads the country in copper production. The state is the 6th largest state, square footage-wise, in the country. Arizona now has a population of over 7 million residents. After the break, the city of Scottsdale is cutting back on water usage. We'll take a look at what this could mean for Scottsdale residents next.
Plus, we take a look at a recent court decision that is now protecting the gray wolf species.
What you get from Washington Week that you will not get anywhere else are the best and the brightest reporters from different media companies, and they're able to have a real conversation about things that are happening in Washington and around the country. But it's also a show about issues that are relevant to different communities. How do you think that, as the moderator, I feel this deep responsibility to bring in those other perspectives so that people understand how power and politics impact their daily lives.
Friday nights at 7 on Arizona PBS.
The city of Scottsdale is making water cuts in an effort to reduce consumption from the Colorado River. Cronkite News reporter Luke Vickery tells us where the cuts are coming from and who is being most affected.
Scottsdale receives about 70% of its water supply from the Colorado River. And while most residents will not feel the impact of these latest cuts at their faucets, the city is asking residents to conserve, especially when it comes from outdoor usage.
Arizona's brown landscape is due in part to 15 years of drought. Scottsdale is one of the first cities to decide it's time to make water cuts.
Let our residents know that it's a serious situation. We have enough water for our residents, but we really wanted them to understand the serious nature of the Colorado River cutbacks.
The seriousness of the drought does not just extend to people living in Scottsdale. Residents living outside the city can also be affected, depending on what kind of water systems are used on their property.
Couldn't imagine not having water to our home.
For the past decade, DeAngelis serviced her home with hauled water from Scottsdale.
So you can see behind me, so I have hauled water out here. So a truck comes, delivers our water, currently getting it from City of Scottsdale, and then they fill our water tank.
But as part of the Tier 1 water shortage stage, the city recently decided they will no longer service water hauling in her area, leaving her in need of a quick solution.
This neighborhood is just a glimpse of what's to come for the rest of the state.
Also part of Tier 1, the city itself is keeping their promise to cut back on its own water usage.
Try to up our own game with a pledge of saving 5% at city facilities as well.
The city of Scottsdale is working to better manage their water through areas like public parks like these. But the city can't do it alone. They're also asking residents to do their part in better managing their personal water usage.
One way people can do that is by changing the landscape to xeriscaping, which requires little to no irrigation, something DeAngelis is already doing.
Not watering big yards and grass and thinking what we're doing with golf courses and all of those things, we're going to have to get really creative to conserve water.
Scottsdale may be the first city in Maricopa County to implement a Tier 1 water management plan. But if the drought continues, more cities could face similar cuts.
The city of Scottsdale has only implemented Tier 1 of their drought management plan. But if the Colorado River drops in the next year, like it is projected, the city and residents may have to do more to conserve water. In the studio, Luke Vickery, Cronkite News.
The United States Department of Energy announced a $5 billion program for electric vehicle infrastructure, and Arizona is going to see some of the benefits. The U.S. Department of Transportation hopes to use the $5 billion to increase the amount of charging stations in the U.S. to close to 500,000. The program hopes to increase electric car ownership and help fight the climate change crisis. Under the plan, Arizona could receive over $75 million over the next 5 years to develop electric vehicle charging stations in the state.
A federal judge recently reversed a wildlife decision made by the Trump administration, which restores protections for the gray wolf. The Trump administration originally removed the gray wolf population from the endangered species list, but that move was reversed after wildlife coalitions argued it would be a serious threat to the gray wolf population. The judge ruled in favor of a lawsuit brought by the Humane Society of the United States against the Department of the Interior back in January of 2021. The lawsuit claimed the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service did not take proper consideration when it removed the animal from its protections last January. The recent decision restored protections in 45 states.
Well, today was a hot one here in the Valley, and Evan Liss is in the Cronkite News Weather Center to tell us what's in store for the rest of the week.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. After a beautiful stretch of weather here in the Valley, we have a cool down ahead as a storm system starts to move into our area, bringing breezy conditions to many parts of the state on Tuesday and some light rain and snow chances depending on elevation on Wednesday. So looking at the big picture and why this is happening, we have a storm system coming down from the northwest. Ahead of it, we activate that wind pump, and then that wind moves out to the east on Wednesday. Then on Wednesday, our precipitation chances, whether it's snow in the high terrain, AM showers for the lower elevations, start to increase. That moves out, high pressure moves back in by the end of the week, pushing up our temperatures and clearing out our skies. Looking into our Valentine's Day evening, we have a beautiful one on tap, 77 degrees without any clouds in the sky. That'll help all of our heat that we get during the day radiate into the sky quite effectively, actually. 63 degrees already by 10 p.m. Going all the way across the Pacific, very different numbers here for our Winter Olympic cities, Beijing, Yanqing, and Zhangjiakou for our mountain venues. Our highs for Tuesday's events, 27 degrees in Beijing, 18 degrees in Zhangjiakou. Then on Wednesday, we warm things up just a little bit, 30 degrees in Beijing, and just barely hitting 20 for the mountain events up in Zhangjiakou. Then, by the end of the week, they're going to have some snow chances back in their forecast in the Beijing area. Not for us, though. As I said, windy on Tuesday. Then we have that storm system start to move through, pushing down our temperature 62 on Wednesday, 70 on Thursday. Then the weekend comes. We go back up close to 80 before we cloud things up on the other side of the weekend. For now, I'm Evan Liss in the Cronkite News Weather Center.
I'm Ashley Engel, and coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. Phoenix Open returned this weekend with massive crowds and a first-time winner. We tee things off next.
What you get from Washington Week that you will not get anywhere else are the best and the brightest reporters from different media companies, and they're able to have a real conversation about things that are happening in Washington and around the country. But it's also a show about issues that are relevant to different communities. How do you think that, as the moderator, I feel this deep responsibility to bring in those other perspectives so that people understand how power and politics impact their daily lives?
Friday nights at 7 on Arizona PBS.
Welcome back to Cronkite News. I'm Ashley Engel, and this is your Cronkite Sports Report. The WM Phoenix Open returned in full force this year, with its signature crowd showing love to the competitors on this Valentine's Day weekend. The tournament featured 4 days of PGA action, which ended in a thrilling sudden death playoff, which took 3 holes to determine a winner. The playoff pitted defending FedEx Cup champion Patrick Cantlay against Scotty Scheffler. The duo played the 18th hole 3 times, with Scheffler emerging victorious following a 25-foot birdie putt. It was Scheffler's first PGA Tour win, but it was the atmosphere that made it so memorable for him.
The playoff, and then from there just tried to hang in there and execute some shots, and I'm very pleased to see that putt go in. And at the time I thought it was just to keep the playoff going, and so I guess it was nice seeing Patrick's putt not go in, and then able to celebrate a little bit.
And here's a look at how some of the golfers with local ties fared. World number 1 and ASU alum John Rahm finished 12 under, tied for 12th place, while fellow Sun Devil Matt Jones finished tied for 58th. Local favorites including Pat Perez, Ches Reefy, and Preston Summerhays all missed the cut.
More champions were crowned yesterday with the Los Angeles Rams taking home the Lombardi Trophy after defeating the Cincinnati Bengals. We have coverage from our Los Angeles bureau, starting with Cronkite News reporter Joey Vacca, who caught up with the winners this morning.
There's no rest for the weary, as Rams coach Sean McVay joked this morning. McVay and Super Bowl MVP Cooper Kupp spoke with media at around 8:45 local time to talk about the franchise's first Super Bowl win in Los Angeles.
You know, people wanted to win a championship, do something special, you know, for the other people that they love and care about. You know, that it was such a selfless team. In a lot of instances, we're all kind of innately selfish, but I thought this was the most selfless group I've ever been a part of. They played for one another, they trusted each other, and I think they picked each other up through good and bad, and that's what I felt like, you know, made us so special.
So many guys that have just respected this game, have just put in the work and the time, and so you know, that was a huge thing coming into this. Is, you know, so many guys just said, hey, we've got guys here that deserve a Super Bowl. We got to win this for them.
Kupp said he feels the team can absolutely repeat as champs next season, but for now, he's going to enjoy the day with family and teammates at Disneyland. In Los Angeles, with the Super Bowl champion Rams, Joey Vacca, Cronkite News. And now to Gareth Kwok with more on the handoff to Super Bowl 57.
Super Bowl 56 is officially in the books here in Los Angeles, and now Arizona is on the clock. The Los Angeles Super Bowl Host Committee handed over the hosting duties to the Arizona Super Bowl Host Committee. Governor Doug Ducey spoke, as well as Cardinals owner Michael Bidwell, as well as a familiar face to Arizona football fans.
We're ready for the world stage, and we're ready to show the world what we're capable of doing. I'm confident we will make Super Bowl 57 the best yet, and one the world will anticipate, not only anticipate, will remember for decades to come.
It's our honor in Arizona to accept the Super Bowl handoff on behalf of our state. And what a day it is for this exciting event. Today is Arizona's 110th birthday, which is fitting as we celebrate the past and look forward to Arizona's promising future.
We've put over $150 million worth of upgrades and renovations to get the stadium, State Farm Stadium, ready to go for Super Bowl 57.
Super Bowl 57 at State Farm Stadium is scheduled for February 12th, 2023. Bidwell even mentioned that he's hoping it becomes 3 years in a row where the Super Bowl hosts are Super Bowl champions. In Los Angeles, Gareth Kwok, Cronkite News.
ASU and Arizona women's basketball teams played against each other twice this past weekend. ASU got the win on Friday, but Arizona was able to bounce back with a win yesterday. It was a close second game for the Sun Devils and Wildcats as the game was tied at the end of the first half. The Sun Devils kept it close in the third, only being behind by two. But in the fourth quarter, the Wildcats extended their lead, making it hard for the Sun Devils to come back. The Wildcats came out with a 62-58 win. Now, staying on the hardwood, the Suns got a win Saturday night, beating the Magic by 28 points. Torrey Craig got to put on a Suns jersey once again and played with his old teammates, dropping 14 points.
It literally feels like the same way it did last season, just coming in, fitting right in with guys. But I guess it's that easy when you play in the right way. We got a bunch of guys that play together, play to a certain standard, so it's easy to fit in with those guys.
That's all for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Colton Sedona.
One Valley City ranked in the top 10 places to celebrate Valentine's Day. After the break, we will tell you where you should spend the Day of Love.
Your favorite member benefit is getting better and bigger.
This is wonderful.
Over the next year, Passport is adding new shows and doubling the number of episodes for you to stream.
They give us all that they've got.
From your favorite cooking and travel series.
Even the stairs are breathtaking.
To history specials and award-winning documentaries. Better and bigger.
That really is the fun part.
Stream on any device with Passport on the PBS Video app.
Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication's Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Still looking for last-minute Valentine's Day plans tonight? You might want to consider heading out to Scottsdale, as Wallet Hub ranked the city as the 9th best place to celebrate the holiday. Wallet Hub looked for the most cost-effective and romantic cities to celebrate the Day of Love. 100 cities were compared on 27 metrics, including best weather, budget, activities, and gift accessibility. San Francisco ranked the best city to spend Valentine's Day. A few other Valley cities made the list, with Gilbert at number 25, Chandler landing at number 38, and Phoenix at number 39. Wallet Hub also found that Gilbert, Arizona is the cheapest city for a 3-course meal for 2.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.